Welcome back on diynonmod. Today I want to propose you a video about I decided to use the set Dominion Grotz, part of to some Ghouls, a part in zombies. So the part that remains that were quite missing the parts, I decided to experiment on them and so to use them to refill them with different pieces and so on as part of the body and part eventually raising from the ground as like zombies. So I taken the models and I created, for example, I recreated the ribs so that could be able to see in the middle, or I recreated, for example, some viscera. So I was able to make them ashy and so on and create some realistic effect, I think. Eventually then there will be the colors that will change how you can approach and recreating different effects and so on. So I created some green stuff and prepared some nodes so to make such effects that were quite easy using different aspects. I made in my mind the effects that we see in the zombies of the old edition. So here I created a bit of the ribs and vision and so on. I made such things, so creating all difference, filling a part of the models in the case that it was able to see the stomach, to see eventually the part about the viscera itself or the part of the stomach and then refilling. So I made really simple things but quite nice. For example, the ribs and these parts with different opening and so on, like lacerations and so on. So as you can see, I also filled the holes and make them exit like it's really quite fresh, the wounds. And so it's really easy. In some way, I put also some larva that exit from the models around the models to make seem that it's the world from the inside. So simple things, but nice. So I take a bit of this stuff and I prepare it in a sort of sphere, a ball, to use this as a base to sculpt the head. Then I try it on the neck, and if I see that it's not big enough, I add another bit of the green stuff so that I have the size right that I think I need about the head, the dimension of the head for the zombie that I'm going to prepare. And then I take a sculpting tool to prepare the holes where they had to go the mouth and the eyes and eventually the nose. So I had to pay a bit of attention. I don't have to have to be in a hurry to this here because it's something that I had to prepare with a bit of effort. So I adjust also the round so that the ball itself is around the neck so that it doesn't fall off and it's perfect combined so that I don't have any holes and so on, and I refine it in the way that it resembles the face of the head, so a sort of a little oval with some parts about the cheeks and so on, in the way that I can prepare everything. And step by step I prepare the, I can say, size, the feature of the head itself, adjusting it little by little with this tool. I use this because I prefer, but then I can switch and smooth it because maybe I can make some impression and so on. With this, that it's a silicone brush, I can make a bit more details and so on without leaving any particular sign, and at the same time really combine with the rest of the miniature. So I need really to make little by little the efforts to prepare everything because it's simply a way to adjust. You only need to decide how you want to fit everything in the idea that you have in mind. I'm not quite good in doing such things, but I have a bit of liking about creating some, I can deform it away, but it's something that it's nice. So as you can see, take your time about doing such because you can do. You simply need to do something that it's related about preparing something. It's not something that you really have to go crazy, step by step, and you can improve more the heads you do, more it's like. I made some like this in the old video about the banshee, about the base of it, and here you have. And now it's time to prepare the nose. So I pick a little piece of green stuff and start to refine the nose itself because it's one of the main pieces that define a face for a human. Okay, except for cleaning of Dragon Ball, okay? But anyway, I need to put and I use the sculpt tools to refine the shape So here I had to use a bit of efforts. I used the silicone one as the rubber one to make that I can refine and make a continuity with the other parts of the face. I'm not so great doing it, but it's one of the things that you need must. Eventually, if you don't put the nose, you have to create a sort of emptiness in the middle so that it can be resembling something related about a human face. So these are little things that you have to take your time eventually to prepare and so on. Moreover, because it's small details, really small, but they can change quite a lot the ways that you can perceive everything. Still, it's one of the things that I suggest you to try because you can completely evaluate a different type of approach to the sculpting doing this. Usually to prepare such piece, I wait that the head is fixed so I don't ruin it and then I put the nose on it. And now it's time to create the ears. So I prepare a little amount of green stuff and I cut it in two to have two sort of hemispheres. And then I put a little amount of this green stuff on the part that should be the ears. Here you have to pay attention about the positioning and you can use what you want, fingers, some tools and so on to put into the position, it's up to you. And then I create the contact and the hole that you have inside the ear so that you can see that it's a sort of human ears and not a flat part. And so I try to adjust positioning it in the right position and then I change and I use the silicone one as one to make that I can put together so that there is continuity and not some little gaps and so on because it should be not quite good because about the nose eventually you can justify about the ear the attach should be perfect so it's something that you do and then I prepare also the other ear and I do the same because we have two ears eventually or you have to create a whole equivalent one and so now I had a model that it continue to resemble head more and more. And now it's time to create the eyes, or better, the eyes balls and the mouth. So we can begin to create a little amount of sphere, so that you have to pay attention, and insert it in the holes that we create about the heads, so that we can make them see being the eyes. And here you only need attention, because you have to make that they attach to the part related to the orbits and then make that there is a sort of space in between. So it's how you decide. Eventually you can sculpt directly when you do the head, but I prefer such step because I can have multi-dimension. Anyway, it's one of my first attempts, so I needed quite a lot of time to adjust, but were quite nice I think at the end. And then we can move to prepare the things to create the mouth. Here about the mouth, you can choose about the teeth or the tongue. Eventually, it's quite similar about. It's only that you need really to pay attention because are even smaller detail eventually than the part related about the eyes. So step by step, you prepare and you insert it so that you can have a sort of detached from it. You can have to create a sort of volume, but it's not better than the effect I think. So with a bit of effort you can make the things related. So eventually you can proceed. Eventually if you want to do the tongue and the teeth, decide which one to proceed first. But I have also to remember that the zombies are not perfect humans' bodies, so I decided to put on them some larvae that could exit from the mouth, from the eyes, be on the body. So I decided to create such things and I had fun doing this because each model will be different because it's not possible to represent everything in the same perfect condition, and it's a thing that I like because you personalize quite a lot. So it's the same idea that we have seen about the putting the tongue or the eyes, simply a bit bigger, so it's in some way easier. You can also try to put the segments on these models, and really it's really quite nice because you can have a lot of fun. And obviously you can put also some vermis and so on the body of the zombies. Here you have to pay attention. Eventually you can use some glue or so on to put the things that you need. You can prepare beforehand and then glue them on, or you can prepare directly on the mod. In this case I decided to do the last, so to prepare them on the body itself, and had quite a lot of fun. On the zombie we can find also the hairs, so I decided to recreate them and this time to use so that I a mass of green stuff and then sculpt it. I decided to create single hairs, but single pieces of hair, then put together and refine it. So it's a little thing, but in my opinion was faster than sculpting directly the hair because it was better in my opinion, and I like the final effect. You need a bit of time, okay, but you can have fun because you can really move each of these pieces of the hair without any problem. And you have only to pay attention about the attachment of the hair itself on the skull, but it's really quite nice to see about this at the end. The zombies were missing also some legs, so I decided to recreate them with different tricks. Some of them were related about the green stuff, so I decided to use the idea about the worms to meld part of the green stuff to the body. So I used in the first try the part to recreate a sort of type about the body, and so I made it with the part of the body. I used again stuff that was a bit of time that it was out, so it was more solid and were able to keep the position better. Eventually you can use also a soul of iron thread that I think that it's better so that you can change completely the angle and so on and have something more stable, eventually drilling a bit in the body, so it's an option. And after that I created such tight, I had to prepare myself to prepare the other part, so the part that then goes to the feet. And so I prepared another bit and I put it on the piece. I made that it was not needing to be completely glued together so on, but it was also separation because it was a melded body, so it was not a problem that some pieces were not completely fine. So I decided to prepare about this. Then I used another technique, so I prepared a full leg using a longer part and then sculpting it directly, so attaching as I done for the first experiment, but made that then I shaped it in the point that I wanted, so to have a sort of unique body. And here I had to prepare about the details, so a bit about the ankles and so on, about the feet. So it's up to you decide how you want, but they are simple and anyway it's something that is done for fun. So it's something that you can improve step by step because there are a lot of potential in such really quite simple techniques that are also quite powerful if you think about, because they can make you having a nice bodies created. The other trick that I had to create the legs is use a simple toothpick. So I verified the length and I added to the length needed a bit more, and I signed where I had to cut this part with a pencil or like this. You can use everything that you want about. Verify that everything is okay, and then I go to cut. I don't suggest you to use a clipper because you risk to ruin the wood, but it's up to you decide how you want to cut, how you go better. And after that I done this, I verify that it's okay. Then I make a drill. This it's a way to keep it positioned in the right place, the model and the leg, because eventually I can also change the angle of the toothpick eventually so that I can put as I want. It's up to you. Eventually I drill again if I need a bit more, so need your time with doing this. It's a simple precision one. And once that I done this, it's time to glue because I want to keep that in position. Obviously, if you make it drill enough and so on, you can keep without gluing, but it's better to put a bit of glue to keep everything in position. And once that I done this, I also glue the other part so that it's fixed better. And I try the base itself. So it's really quite simple one as a process. And then I proceed to do the same things for all the others, change eventually the type and wood, so on, the position of the toothpick, and use as many parts as I need because they're really quite nice as useful for this type of doing. And so now it's time to paint, and I decided to paint with, I can say, living colors, because I wanted something that it was recalling a bit fresh zombies. And here I'd like quite a lot of painting with the different details and so on. Okay, the sculpture at the end is not the best, my sculpture, I mean, with the green stuff, but I had a lot of fun. and the painting too, because it's the result that I wanted. Something that it's like decadent, it's like corrupting, it's like something I can say putrefying. Anyway, it's really quite interesting thing, and these models are still moving like they should be alive, but imagine like a sort of goofy movements, and really are something that I can appreciate because I like, but it's up to you to decide if you want to like this. It's an experiment, it's a way to make you see that you can do such things. You only need to try, because even if I can't sculpt, I have liked to sculpt such things, and I made some experiment and know a bit better about the modelism. So, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So, I hope to see you again to the next time.